There's been something on my mind while we're doing this fourth episode about unsafe spaces. And I would like to suggest that it actually starts with unsafe relationships. There's some challenge, of course, with my mom in our beliefs and trying to negotiate around that. What's making it challenging is my doing these episodes and showing my life about being trans. And it's hurtful and it's difficult to manage.
Yes. I love her so much.
Had the grace to keep on moving on at a pace that's right where you belong. In the face of all that's going on, you don't have to run that race. In the time where the chaos seems too much, oppressed don't even seem to touch. The waning hearts too tired to show their face. Had the grace.
How you doing?
I want to say good. I'm in a scared, angry spot. I'm trying to hold it together. I had a bit of a tough week. I saw a movie that really broke my heart. And it brought back a lot of trauma for myself. And I've been working to regulate myself on that. I have a lot of tools. I have a great toolbox. And I'm using them all the time.
We're talking about unsafe spaces in this episode. And I would like to say that I'm doing better. I've feeling very frustrated and challenged to some degree with what I see going on in the world, with what I see on Facebook pages. I'm frustrated with some of the relationships in my family still. We have not moved in our opinions.
It's hard talking to people when you know you're not going to change their mind. It feels pointless, and then it feels bad on so many levels. But on one, it feels bad because I want them to be more open. I want them to be okay and good, and to my perspective of good.
I've worked really hard to try to forget my childhood. And that movie brought up the feelings for me, and of being dehumanized and being hunted, to always be on the fringe and always looking over my shoulder, or knowing people are trying to find evidence to prove what they suspected of me, the sideways glances, the whisperings. And I grew up a people pleaser. And it's really hard if you're not pleasing people. And I'm also very empathic, and I can feel stuff right away.
I was so bad at correcting people when they misgendered me until I started correcting people when they misgendered other people, because I knew how much that hurt, and so I could do that for other people. And then I had to think, why can't I do that for myself? Why do I feel uncomfortable taking up that space, like I'm inconveniencing people when they hurt me?
I initially started with Foundry 5 years ago as a peer support worker, and I was hired specifically to be a 2S LGBTQIA peer support worker. And so currently I oversee 8 peer support workers, both youth and family peer support. We have programs that run in Summerland and Oliver as well as Penticton. There's a community behind them that's willing to support them and stand with them if they need that support. Right now, at their age, like, it's hard to see the other side, and I know I was one of them.
For trans people in general, a lot of places are unsafe.
There's unsafe spaces in my dreams, and I'm fighting with people to stop misgendering me. That'd be nice to stop dreaming about that.
So having a safe place to go to makes a world of a difference for young people. It gives them that place to chat with others that are going through what they're going through or have overcome what they're going through. There's nothing like a sense of belonging and community when you can come together and share your thoughts and feelings with people. And Radar, like, they are building life skills.
I was very visibly odd all my years growing up, and I didn't know how people could tell I was different, but they saw it and they could tell. So I've been bullied since I can remember, since kindergarten, and my sister would show up, thankfully after her school, and help get the pack of kids, and I learned how to fight, and I fought a lot, that I decided to give up fighting when I was 8. And when I was 11, I remember very specifically planning out my suicide and getting ready to do it, and having a voice in my head saying, please don't do this. We need you. We need you in the future as a warrior of love. Like, and I was like, why should I be here? My life is already so hard.
Yeah, demoralizing and life-changing. Youth nowadays have it from every angle, so if they have unsupportive parents, they can have unsupportive, like, students at school with them. It makes them not want to live their life. Being faced at it every day, like the things that you hear and the things that you're called, hearing it once takes a toll on you, let alone hearing it multiple times a day, multiple times a week. Yeah, I can't actually put it into words how lifelong it affects you. That'll follow you for the rest of your life. And so they need people to stop and realize that they're individuals, and they're just trying to be themselves. So, and I think, yeah, like social media, they've got it coming to them. In person, they've got it coming to them. And I think, like, society needs to take a big realization that they're people and that they deserve love and respect and to be seen and to be heard and to be validated. So I hope it eventually stops. I have faith in humanity that one day it will. Sorry. Sure.
You want us to stop for a sec?
Everything that I'm now going through justifies why I held out so long to come out. I, myself, being a people pleaser, soft-hearted, empathic, I love a lot.
Things like this come up and then you start to cry, so yeah. But they need it and they're worth it, and I'd do it over every day.
A lot of youth currently don't have homes that accept them. They are gendered correctly provisionally when they are being good. Their correct names are used occasionally when circumstance permits, rather than all the time. Even at times it would be uncomfortable.
I made it through high school alive because one teacher made sure that I had somewhere to go at lunch hours, that I had somewhere to go in the morning before school started. And it was definitely them that got me through high school. I never came out in high school, even as, like, being a queer individual. Like, like people knew and I didn't, apparently. Like, so I came out after high school, and that's when I moved away.
It's easy to become cynical and always see the worst when the worst that you do see in people is absolutely dreadful.
And I'd gone through experiences of abuse as a younger child under 5, not with total clear ideas of what that was, but I knew that men in my life were super dangerous and I could not be protected. And I knew that I no longer wanted that hurt. But when I heard that voice and all that love saying that I had a huge heart of love and it was going to be needed in the future, and that was enough to stick around.
A lot of the youth that I'm talking with are like, they're alarmed by what's coming up from across the border around hate towards them. I think we're seeing it more in community right now as well. And so, yeah, they're nervous and afraid. And
Trans youth and just trans people worldwide are being murdered in washrooms, in parks, in the comfort of their own homes. And it's hard not to let that spill over onto how you approach the day-to-day.
like going to the swimming pool is a hard one for a lot of our trans youth. Yeah, I think like the swimming is a huge barrier. We live in a community that has lakes on either side, and summertime is the place to go. And they don't find joy in going to a beach. They find so much pressure behind it.
The amount of times that I've gone places and I don't know which bathroom I'm allowed to use. And it's taken me ages to figure out that few enough people are using the washrooms that I'm probably okay. But there's still trepidation every time I have to choose which one, every time I have to look at what I'm wearing and think, where am I going to seem the least out of place? There are times when I've asked, hey, do you like people who are part of the establishment or people who I know go there often? Do you know which washroom? Like, do you know if there's a gender-neutral washroom or if there's a washroom I can use? And they get uncomfortable because they're like, oh, there's not one? And now I don't know what to tell this person who needs to pee.
I've known somebody before and they come up and they're, oh, that is you. Oh, so did you do the full surgery? Are you really transitioning all the way? I'm like, now we're talking about genitals? Like, I'm not asking you what's in your pants.
I had an acquaintance, an older lady. Oh, my niece is trans too. Well, my nephew. She's my nephew now. Oh, God, okay. Oh, good for him. He uses he, him pronouns. Just a little coaching through that moment for her. Yeah, well, he does, but he'll never actually be a man because he still has a vagina. Whoa, I don't need to know about his genitals. Just full stop right there. Let's end this conversation. It's baffling to me that someone could feel comfortable approaching someone they don't really know and talking about a family member's very personal life.
Safe places begin with us. If I'm safe inside, I will create a safe place for you, and then we could both be safe. But if one of us isn't safe, now the space isn't safe. And so what is it that makes people unsafe inside? And that's where I think we really got to make the big change. That's where I'd like to see the change. The evolution is people recognizing their own self-advocacy of taking care of their herd, of being a safe person inside, and be open and willing to see something different than what you've been told.
Recently, a local establishment didn't allow a trans woman in. and they faced no repercussion for that because she got angry. So she became the problem.
And so I think if you are wanting to make any municipality or business or organization safe and inclusive, you should be talking to the people that actively live it every day as a marginalized community.
The biggest unsafe space at the moment, for sure, for myself, would be online. I've had a falling out with family online. I have been trolled already online. I've hear about my fiance's repeated having to educate people about posts that she's sharing and supporting me. And right now, I'm supposed to be developing my social media presence to help launch this episode. And it's taken me a month to get past the experience I had being trolled. I don't feel safe.
I'm helping Kyler with the TransMan project and helping him navigate the unsafe environment that is the internet and social media.
Online, I don't feel very strong. I feel very strong in my personal power here, right now in this chair. But online is a whole other animal. And all of a sudden, I'm offering myself up like a sacrifice.
The internet is unsafe. The internet is unsafe everywhere. I think that you could search for any word and come up with pornography, cookie, whistle, plastic, porn. In addition to that, social media really magnifies the negative aspects of the worldviews that some people have, and I think enables them to share it in an unfiltered way. Managing negative comments, I think, as a business is more straightforward because what I was taught and what I would tell clients or businesses is recognize the criticism if it's warranted and then try to take the conversation offline. Negative criticism for a business can actually be positive in the end because it shows that they're listening to their customers. But when it's between two people, I think it's more tricky.
I feel like when I put out a post, I'm putting out this like, hey, look at me, come target me.
It's good to be prepared emotionally, kind of take care of your own emotions in that regard, because it can happen. It can happen to anybody at any time. And the way that you choose to respond to it is really up to you. And I think that it depends on like a number of factors. Do you know this person? Is it the most appropriate conversation to have with that person in that medium? Do you not know this person? Can you just block them? I love the idea of just blocking someone. But we've also talked about in my friends and my circles, like allyship and education, and sometimes engaging in those conversations depending on the topic. One thing that I've actually found successful with like unsafe environments and online bullies is pointing out that it's inappropriate. So you could engage in the conversation or you could block them, but I think it's really important to check in with yourself and remember the purpose of what it is you're talking about. Is this time you want to spend? Is this a place you want to visit emotionally? Are they even listening to you? Like are you going to spend your time on your keyboard trying to convince somebody that on the other end there's no point? It doesn't seem like a good time for me. I'd rather watch cats play with yarn or find out what the honey badger cares about. We talked a lot about like who's your audience and what do they want to see. And with Kyler, I think that he wants to educate and inspire and show people that they aren't alone.
The question of what identity means to me is, that's a Trojan horse, because there's a lot in there.
I have no idea what's going to stick with people, and so I try very much to embed my communication with pure intention or with love, because I know they may not remember what I said, but they'll remember how they felt in our conversation. And so even if they don't remember the words, I want them to remember I'm just a real human just like them.
With the TransMan project, we've experienced trolling in different ways. We've seen some ha-has on pieces that are meant for education and comments that suggest that the claims are false or illegitimate, and that's not the case. You can't change history. When Kyla was most upset about that, one strategy that we used was to come up with a almost like an autoresponder, but it's just a note that we're keeping in his phone that says, "You're welcome to see the page," and this is here to provide a place for you to understand and learn. And if you're not here for that or not going to respect that, then you will be blocked. Because the page isn't for everyone, but it is a place to learn if you want to learn. And if you don't, bye, block. And they'll make the wildest claims that they're educated in like gender ideology from the University of I just made it up, and that you should respect my opinion because I have a made-up degree on my fake account. But yeah, the ha-has are kind of neither here nor there. Like they'll come and go, but if they're not interacting in a negative way, maybe they will see something that they learned from, and maybe that ha-ha will change to a heart one day.
Really, like, I would love to see a radar held in each community. That's my big overarching plan for the program. So yeah, I think it's literally life-changing. Like, I've had youth come up to me and say that they are so grateful and so thankful that they had it, and now they're thriving adults, and it's so great to see them get from point A to point B like you always want them to. A little scathed, but with support, it makes it a little easier. So it's so rewarding just to see them, succeed. And then, when they come back as people to help support other youth, that's even more like full circle moment for me. So
I don't think my personal journey of self-identification will ever be over. I think identity is so deeply tied to the people around us and the communities in which we exist that it would be impossible for me at least, to stagnate, to find one solid definition that would not shift and change over time. But the point I am now, that journey, started with high school journals with the big question, gender. Deal with that later.
It feels close to life or death. If I go into the wrong space, I've just walked into a lion's den and I have no protection.
Have the grace to keep on moving on at a pace that's right where you belong. In the face of all that's going on, you don't have to run that race. In the time where the chaos seems too much, crowds don't even seem to touch. When waiting hearts too tired to show their face.